If you like ships and you like airplanes, this is a coin you're definitely going to want to see. Stay tuned while I talk about this coin. In 2009, the Royal Navy celebrated 100 years of British naval aviation. Now, it is celebrated and dedicated by a British Virgin Islands 100 years naval aviation $10 coin. Minted in 2009, this is a proof silver crown with mint box and certificate of authenticity. The obverse of this coin is absolutely done in the old style of the Queen. Shows British Virgin Islands and then Queen Elizabeth II, 2009. But the reverse is what we want to talk about this particular coin. Shows 100 years of naval aviation. It's got the $10 mark, flying Navy with this beautiful biplane heading back to land on its carrier. The first plane in Navy aviation for the British was the twin-engine aircraft White and Thompson No. 1 seaplane. It was a biplane powered by 2 Pusher Curtis Ox engines, 3 drive blade propellers with adjustable pitch. Now, it was a wooden construction. The fuselage was primarily elm, spruce, and mahogany. Now, the crew sat side by side in a cockpit fitted with dual controls just ahead of the wings, and the tail assembly was one of the very first large fin, which was supplemented by 2 auxiliary fins mounted in the upper wing. It did have a horizontal tail, but I don't believe that the image that is shown on the coin is the WT No. 1. I believe the plane on the coin is the Sopwith 1.5 Strutter. The video I'm showing is courtesy of the Imperial War Museum and is of the Sopwith 1.5 Strutter launching from the HMS Argus in 1918. The Sopwith is a British single or 2-seat multi-role biplane aircraft utilized in the First World War. It was designed in 1914, and it was the first British 2-seat tractor fighter of the first British aircraft to enter service with synchronized machine guns. It was given the name 1.5 Strutter because of the long and short K-bind struts that supported the top wing. During the first 100 years of naval aviation power, the Royal Navy had arguably been the leader. The naval wing of the Royal Flying Corps began the First World War as the largest naval service in the world, but it was really unprepared for naval warfare. The creation of the unified Royal Air Force led to often fractured relationships between the Air Force, as well as disputes over things like functionality, mission, roles, responsibility, and the all-important resource. Britain's naval aviation developed rapidly into the most premier air service in the world, but transparency of the naval air power demonstrated that its failures to develop sufficiently long-range, lighter-than-air aircraft and its use of existing British heavier-than-air aviation community would make it primarily concerned with air rather than sea power. The history of the Royal Flying Corps, RFC, naval wing, which by the outbreak of the war had morphed into the Royal Navy Air Service, also known as the RNAS, and is usually viewed in the context of today's Fleet Air Arm. Now, airships were superior during this time frame over airplanes for certain purposes, and more particularly for comparatively long operations across the sea. Now, the Aerial Navigation Subcommittee had taken the view that it was not clear that the existing conditions for the airplane would be of much value in naval operations. Well, little did they know. And this wasn't uncommon in the story of military and naval air power. It wasn't until the Second World War that both U.S. and British navies would really become to understand the clear importance and strategic value of naval air power. If you want to find a great case study regarding military and naval air power, look into the Mediterranean theater of the Second World War and their utilization of naval aviation. It's a brilliant insight into the lessons learned about Navy air power and its uses. Most of the time, you don't hear much about the Mediterranean because of all the information coming about the Battle of the Atlantic and the epic carrier battles from the Pacific Campaign. The performance of British naval aviation in the series of post-Cold War And the conflicts also influenced a course of strategic defense review that was generated in 1997 and into 1998. You can read more in the book called Naval Aviation, first edition, that was published in 2011 and printed by Routledge. The information is in the description below. And again, special thanks to the Imperial War Museum for the use of the great video in today's display. If you enjoyed this video, please share it out, smash that like, and if you aren't already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. If you have additional information on this aircraft or want more videos on this particular topic, put something in the comments below and let's continue the discussion. Join me for more great video, so hit that bell so you know when next videos come out. Any recommendations, please feel free to email me. You can find my email by going to the About Me portion of my channel. Thank you again for all of this. This is Frostbite. Have a wonderful day.